Hello. I just wanted to do a quick update today. I've been doing some posts lately, and some of the imagery that's come up, shared with me by some incredible researchers, is really worth sharing in a video. So I just wanted to show you some of this stuff. And I had this article sent to me, obviously with my course. Just share screen. Obviously, with the course that I do, I teach about how to see, ley lines, how to pick up on otherworldly entities. The Green Man, for instance, is one way of describing the spirit of nature. And as Alfred Watkins speaks about, it being Genio Terra Britannica, being one of the epitaphs on the Roman altars in the UK. And that was a 1925 book where he speaks about that, called The Old Straight Track. All ancient cultures have spoken about this spirit of nature and the way it presents itself in many different ways. What is really interesting is this article was sent to me by a dear friend about Mount Taranaki in New Zealand, and that there's this bill called the Taranaki Manga Collective Redress Bill. Now, I am not spruiking for this bill at all. I'm very suspicious of anything that happens in Parliament, but it's just very interesting that this has come up. So this Mount Taranaki has been given similar legal rights to a person. Now, the reason I find that so fascinating is because I've been talking for a while about, plants are sentient, trees are sentient, water, elements, water has memory. These are ancient cultural beliefs. Elements, I believe, are also sentient. And I've also, there are certain Japanese folklore, lots of folklore around mountains also having a form of intelligence or consciousness. I think we really need a science around consciousness. You can't live in the everything's a physical thing, and if you can't touch it, it doesn't exist. That sort of construct is old. We need a whole science around consciousness. We've got metaphysics and we've got parapsychology, but it doesn't touch enough of what ancient peoples have known forever. And this is, why I'm so passionate about teaching this sort of information. There are aspects of the world that are actually really beautiful and magical, but we have that divorced from us by things like psychology and, various areas of science that try to keep all of that incredible information in the occult secret societies. They know all of this stuff, and I'm going to share some stuff in a minute that proves it, because it's in the streetscapes. They know it, they don't want to share it. So very interesting article. Everything that I'm sharing today, I'll have a link in the description box for you to check out. So I just want to go into some photography here. So my dear friend Sarah Seeger, who also runs meditations for Lay Love Down, the movement to help people to get out into the ley lines and express joy to try and undo some of what these secret societies have been doing for a very long time. She shared with me this photograph and it just blew my mind. So there's a couple of what psychology would describe as pareidolia images on this mountain. This is Mangere Mountain in New Zealand. Sarah has already shared with me, and I'll share in a moment, photographs indicating that there's a ley line, quite a significant one, over to the side here. Someone had set a fire, or perhaps it was unintentional and just occurred. What's fascinating is there appears to be two faces on the mountain. This one, to me, appears to be the face of perhaps a bald man, and up here I can see a sheep. Both apparitions, so I'll point out what I can see. There's an eye there, nose, nostril, cheek, top lip, open mouth, bottom lip, chin, and that would be the brow bone and the forehead. To me, this face is it's almost like it's a face trying to warn, open mouth, trying to communicate, possibly even try and blow out the fire. It's just really interesting. On its own, perhaps it's just a pareidolia image. In psychology, pareidolia is a nebulous stimulus that we as humans make some sort of significance of. What this doesn't describe is the ancient cultures who found significance in this imagery in nature forever. Okay, psychology has come along and just tried to take all the magic out of it. Trust me, there are consciousnesses in nature that communicate with us often. And that's what I teach in my course, and I have countless images that I share that proves this fact. What we have up here, it looks to me like a sheep's face. So we've got the teeth, open mouth again, jawline, nostrils, an eye here, and the rest of the head. So yes, it's possibly just pareidolia, but what is really interesting is there's two images, two faces, both of them with open mouths, both of them looking distressed, and the mountain has just burnt. So I'll just go through and just share some of these. So I've marked the two images a little bit better so that you can see what I can see. I'm not the only one who can see them, by the way. On the side here are two ley lines. Ley lines often run in pairs. This is subtle, so I don't expect everybody to be able to see what I see here. In the course that I teach, I make these things much clearer. I use the examples that are so clear you can't miss them. This is from a different angle, so it's not photoshopped. The faces are still there, probably even a little bit clearer from this angle. And note this fence, because I'm going to show another picture in a moment to show where there's a significant ley line that both of these faces are looking towards. Very often with these so-called pareidolia images, they'll be near a ley line and they'll be looking into the ley line around 90 to 95% of the time. It's uncanny. Perhaps the other 5%, they're actually looking into another ley line that's in a distance, and saying there's another ley line there. These pareidolia images, there are quite often facial apparitions or humanoid apparitions or animal apparitions are there to get our attention. And I believe it's the earth, it's the nature spirits, it's the fairies, if you like, asking us to pay attention to the ley lines because they are so significant. And so that's just a comparison. So, when you see ley lines in smaller icon pictures, the smaller the picture, the easier it is to pick up on the ley line. That's another thing that I teach. This is a previous image that Sarah had shared with me of Mangere Mountain. I did share this in the Sky to Earth Academy course back in, I think it was August of 23. So you can see that one of the significant ley lines there, and that's the fence that you could see in the previous image. Just to give you an idea that that's quite a significantly sized ley line in that particular location. And Sarah also shared this with me. This is Mount Taranaki that's just been given this legal status as a like a human status with this incredible cloud above it, which is quite amazing. So, this is a very sacred mountain, obviously. It's also apparently one of the most symmetrical. Very interesting that it is so symmetrical. Now, looking down here, looks to me like another ley line, and a significantly sized one. So that's heading straight towards the mountain. A lot of ley lines where the plants and trees do not grow within ley lines, or they attempt to not do so. And when they do, they look very tortured, and they're often the boughs or the trunk of the tree will be very oddly shaped, misshapen, often circular, like that. You can see it's moving in an arc away from a ley line. Whether or not they're doing it out of respect or it's just uncomfortable, the frequency, and ley lines are known to have a different sort of frequency. I'm not sure. I tend to lean towards perhaps plants and trees sentiently avoiding the ley lines out of respect, because the ley lines are the meridians of the earth, and where the most significant of the ley lines, the dragon lines, they actually, where they cross, create the chakra points of the earth. I was just at a consciousness conference at Uluru in a crossing point of dragon lines in December of last year. Just amazing imagery. So I wanted to include this image of the Harakbut face in southeast Peru, Peruvian Amazon. I hope I've got that right. Now, what's so amazing, this is another sacred mountain, obviously. And what is amazing here is that the features on the mountain even correlate with the features of the Indigenous people of that area. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's spectacular. So this is an ancient culture revering a mountain because the mountain's expressing back to the people what they look like in a way of communication. And this is a common thing with the green man or the spirit of nature. It will reflect back to us imagery that's also symbolism. There's messages in the symbols. For instance, the so-called quintessential green man image, and I teach this in my course, is an open-mouthed humanoid face made up of foliage of plants or trees with plant branches or coming out of the mouth. And to me, they say that they don't understand what that means. To me, it's very obviously a way of saying that the plant is communicating with us, with the plant, with the tree or the branches coming out of the mouth. It's a form of communication or a symbol of communication, which obviously the pagans knew all about a long time ago. And for those who always, get upset about this being paganistic, pagans were just one small, short period of time of worshipping the spirit of nature. Ancient cultures have worshipped the spirit of nature forever because, hello, we live on a spiritual planet. It's a planet with a soul. So if you relegate all of this to paganism and get on your high horse about, it's anti-Catholic or anti-Christian or whatever, you're looking at the tiniest sort of fraction of time in human history. You go back to the Hopi Indians, to these people in the Amazon, all of these other ancient cultures that was well before paganism. Okay. Now, we come to a pagan symbol. So this is Fitzroy Gardens in Melbourne. This is really significant. I have a dear friend I've known for a very long time. Her name is Julianne, and she's a brilliant researcher. She sent me this image and it just blew my mind. So this is Fitzroy Gardens in Victoria with a pentagram in the centre. All of the little paths are designed specifically to point out a 5-pointed star. Now, 5-pointed star for, I'm going to be careful because I want to put this on YouTube, for those who follow the dark system, is very significant. It can have positive connotations as well, but, for the dark, it's particularly important. What's really interesting is it's not just a pentagram. This is poorly drawn, forgive my poor drawing here. But there's also an Illuminati triangle in the center with the eye at the top, the circle at the top, which is reminiscent of the streetscape in Canberra. So what's really interesting is we have town planners who are secret society members who plan out cityscapes, and they put all the imagery in there because they think we're too stupid to notice. And that's why I thought it was really important to point this out on as many, socials as I've got. I've already posted this on my socials, but I wanted to share it on my channels as well. So here we go again. So here's Fitzroy Gardens. Here is the pentagram with the Illuminati triangle in the center, surrounded by 6 different Masonic centers. So we've got Freemasons Victoria, the Grand Lodge of Mark Master Masons. We've got the Epworth Freemasons. We have Chinese Masonic Society, the Lodge of the Golden Fleece, and the Masonic Club building. Okay, we also have St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is here, and Parliament House. And down the bottom here, we have the shrine, which for anybody who follows Dale Holmes, they would have seen the amazing research that Nikki and Dale have done together on the shrine. Nikki's an incredible researcher also. I've shared this with her. She didn't see the pentagram there, and obviously she's amazed that she didn't see it because she's really good at her research. But this is the beautiful part of going down the rabbit hole with so many different people, means you all share your information. Don't be stingy, don't hold it back, share it. Share it because somebody else will make another link and then another link, and then we get to understand what these secret societies have been planning and doing all of this time without us realizing. And down here is the MCG, which is really significant. So we'll go forward. So there's the shrine. There's that pentagram, and then there's your MCG. So this is a very significant piece of land, I would say, given St. Patrick's Cathedral's in there. Every cathedral, every church is placed on a crossing of powerful ley lines. So this whole area, I would say, would be crisscrossed with ley lines. To get down on the ground there and take photographs in Fitzroy Gardens, you might actually be able to see the leys. So I'll show an example of what a ley line looks like, apart from what I've already shown at Mangaree Mountain. This is the MCG. Looks like a massive eye. It's not just that it looks like a pupil with an iris. The way that they've put the trees out, they've intentionally marked out the white of the eye also. And it's interesting, it's looking in that direction. So the Lyceum Club, I think, is in that direction. So let's hang on. I think it was around here, but I haven't got it marked here. But yeah, I don't know enough about the Lyceum Club, but it's a very interesting area. So this is Taylor Swift standing on a stage that is a ley line has been marked here with the marked tree there. I'll show in a moment. So this was last year. Taylor Swift came. A lot of people who went to the concert couldn't remember it, so which is very interesting. So here we go again. Marked ley line. You can see it in two positions. You can see it there. You can see it further around. This is what I was describing before about a marked tree, avoiding that space. So they've made it very obvious with this backdrop that that is a marked tree, avoiding a ley line. If you want to learn more about marked trees, Alfred Watkins talks about them at length in his book, The Old Straight Track. I teach about them as well in my course. And she did this also at a core stadium. So again, you can see that the ley line is being marked as the stage, and that's what happens with these big arenas. The arenas are placed on these incredibly powerful crossing of ley lines that create these big portal spaces. Now, a lot of ley hunters call them vortexes, and you get a vortex of energy, a swirling of energy in the center where the ley lines cross. That MCG is the marking, the big round building is the marking of the portal. You see this in so many different arenas. And they do this so that when the people, they place the arenas in these positions so that when the people go and express worship, that worship energy is collected into the ley lines and goes towards those who want to keep us dumbed down and keep us in prison planet. So, you know, for those who've gone down the rabbit hole, this all makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it just blows my mind how obvious they are about it. Same year, same arena, Melbourne Cricket Ground. Katy Perry comes along. This was her post. She's talking about opening a portal. It was some big football game or something from memory. I don't follow football. Again, Channel 7 News, Katy Perry opening a portal in the MCG. So it's not just me making these, you know, grand statements based around, you know, I don't know, pareidolia or being, you know, triggered because of my childhood. They're making it really bloody obvious. And of course, the Vatican's opened up 6 portals, I think it was, or 5 at the end of last year. More imagery of the portal being opened. And just to really drum it in, there's your MK Ultra butterfly imagery. So for those who don't understand, that monarch programming in MK Ultra programming is to take somebody from a very early age and to prepare them for public life in various areas. So I can't speak for Katy, but I would assume that that's what's happened here. And there's the vortex being marked at the center of the arena. So that's, could it be any more obvious? It's not imagination, this is reality. So there's just a comparison of the, you know, these are portal spaces. It's also significant that they have that pentagram in that location as well. So I wanted to point that out because I think it's really, really important. More and more people know about these sorts of things. And if you're in Victoria and you go to Fitzroy Gardens, take photographs if you can. I am on Telegram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn now, Instagram. So I'll put all the links down there if you want to share in the comments. Don't private message me on any of those platforms. I don't do private messages. I do have a Telegram chat as well, but if you just go under, you know, in the comments and share some of this imagery if you feel comfortable doing so. I wanted to share this. So my dear friend Dale Holmes is in Thailand at the moment, and he sent me this picture, and I was just like, can I share it? Can I share it? And he's a sweetie, so he's letting me share it. So this is just amazing. So this is another example of a ley line. So again, you've got this little group of trees. For some reason, there's a perfect circle that appears between them. Now, it's spectacularly obvious. What is so spectacular also about this photograph is the fact that there's a rainbow pointing out the portal, you know, that there's this big portal space there. I think, I don't know, these look a little bit like dragon trees, but maybe they're not. So I'm not sure. It's obviously, we don't get trees like that in Australia that I'm aware of. So beautiful little trees. So, you know, these are the sorts of images that I share in my course to teach people how to find ley lines, because it's not difficult. It's actually quite easy. So All right, so I'm about to teach a psychic development course sharing some of this information. It starts on the 7th of February. These are some of the times. So if you're in any of these are some of the course members are from all of these different countries. So if you are in any of those areas, you can see the time and the date when it starts. I still have about 10 places left. There's about 38 already in. I try to keep it around about 50. It's a beautiful community to learn how to learn how to read auras, learn how to find ley lines, learn how to manifest ethically without harming anybody, and energetic protection. So these are some of the things that I teach. So if you're interested in doing that, you can go to my website. So I will just go back to, that's my website. So sixscience.com with obviously the number 6. Obviously I'll put the link in the description box below. This course is coming up in June and April as well. The April course would be better for the people in Canberra, in Canada and America. This current course is, obviously I've just shown all those different countries that it works well for. 360 for the course. There's 4 sessions. I squish a lot into the information into the sessions to make sure that you get a lot out of it. There are all my different socials if you want to find me. And that's easy. And then these are some of the downloads that you get with the course. I also wanted to share, I am going back to the Cosmic Consciousness Conference this year as well in December, again to that beautiful, incredible crossing point of dragon lines where Uluru stands. So Uluru is a sacred rock in the center of Australia in the crossing point of ley lines. So this is a chakra point on the earth where dragon lines, and there's only a few dragon lines, there's not many of them, where they cross on the land, that is considered a chakra point of the earth. There's a lot of contention about whether or not Uluru is the sacral chakra or the navel chakra. I did an interview recently for Living Free movement, and I accidentally called it the navel chakra. I actually meant sacral because I do believe it's a sacral chakra. But again, lots of different schools of thought on that. Depends on who you look at and who you look up. They'll give you different opinions. My friend Bob Jameson also believes it's the sacral chakra, and it makes a lot of sense. There is so much imagery in that area, with the Wilpena pound being the womb, Uluru being one of the ovaries, the olgas being the filaments of one of the fallopian tubes. It just makes so much sense. So, the earth, again, she shows this imagery to help us to understand the significance of certain locations. And one thing that just blew my mind, I did go to Uluru in 2000, but I wasn't as awake as I am now at that point. The trees in this area, when I was there in December of last year, they're all sentient. It's just more so than normal trees. So, I just felt that they were all sentinels or protective. And I actually felt like they could be the reincarnations of ancient original Australians that came back to watch over the rock. It's an eerie thing, but it's actually incredibly beautiful and magical as well. I did share some photographs of the conference in a interview that's coming up. It'll air tomorrow morning, Monday morning, on the 3rd of February. I wanted to get this out today so that people could come in to the live chat and say hello if they want to, because the live chat will be going on through the premiere. So it starts at 7 a.m. in Adelaide tomorrow morning. That's, 3rd of February. That would be 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, if you're interested. It's also at a reasonable hour for those in America. I think it's around about midday or 12:30. And in the UK, it's around about 8:30 at night. So that gives you a bit of an idea of if you want to come in to Danny's chat and just have a look at some of the photographs that I share. I do share some information on ley lines as well. And just, it was just the most amazing conference. So again, I'm going back. Can't wait. Some of the speakers coming up look really amazing. Craig is gorgeous. Lovely man. Brian Ardis was there last year as well, as was Judy. Brilliant. Got Darius Wright coming this year. Don't know Jerry yet. Looking forward to meeting him. There's me. David Bumblebee is hilarious. He's incredibly informative, but he's also got a great sense of humor. So he was really entertaining. Rufus, I'll show Rufus quite a bit actually in the interview with Danny when I shared the photographs, and Tim and Elise are beautiful. and I haven't met these people yet. So, you know, amazing. If you want to go, check it out, have a look. You can obviously cosmic consciousness. Just look it up, and yeah, I'll put the link in the description box. So I think that was all I wanted to share for today. Yep, that's about it. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll stop sharing. Thanks for listening, and yeah, I hope to see you either in the Danny's chat tomorrow morning for the premiere. Again, link in the description box, or maybe even at Uluru or in my course. All right, guys. Thanks so much. See ya.